Okay,
All
go
right,
ahead.
we're going to call this meeting of the Norwich Ad Hoc Tennis Committee to order on the 11th of January. Is it safe to assume that probably citizens didn't have a chance to log into that link? Oh, they did? Okay. Let's take a look at the old business. You guys had a chance to look at the minutes by any chance, I hope?
Yes.
Any issues?
Nope.
Martha, I had just one small thing I wanted to take a look at. It's on the action items.
Okay,
It says Cheryl obtained a design for the work needed for the bidding process.
okay,
There's a line in there which confused me a little bit. It says there was nothing underneath which will keep prices down, which I understood after reading that a couple of times what you meant, but could we change that to there were no obstructions underneath? Which should
Okay.
help to keep prices down?
there were no obstructions underneath,
Which should help keep prices down?
which should. Okay, got it.
It's a minor thing, but it's a little confusing if you.
And
least
where
I-
exactly is that?
That's in the action items. It's in the third paragraph down, third big paragraph down.
Okay, somehow I've lost all you people.
We can see you.
We're still
You
here
can?
though.
Yeah.
All I can see is you, Fred. How did I do that?
That's not gonna do well for your computer, I can tell you that.
Ugh,
Can you,
Probably have it on speaker view. I'm not sure, but if you go to
Speaker
full
view?
screen, upper right hand corner, if you hover. I don't know.
now I see you. I just see the person speaking.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it. Thank you. All right. Okay, so that correction to the old minutes.
yep. Otherwise,
Any-
I didn't have any issues with them.
Any
I'd
other
make it-
corrections?
I'd make a motion to approve them.
Second?
Anybody care to second it?
Can I second it?
Yes, most certainly can.
Okay. Okay,
As
all those in
as
favor?
amended, though, just make sure it's as amended.
Right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Hopefully nobody. All right, so we'll approve those minutes as amended.
Okay. Yeah.
So take a look at, I guess, the stuff we looked at before. We had the fundraising issues. Did any of you guys get a chance? I know Martha did, I did, to take a look at those. I guess that would be you, Roy, and Paul, because I'm pretty sure Aaron didn't do it. If you go on in the Gmail link, if you find some people there that you would prefer to call.
Yeah, I was on earlier before we were able to actually edit that. I'd be okay just going with either whoever's left, or I mean, I could randomly pick. I mean, I know some folks that are already kind of tagged. I know a few folks that are left on that list, but I'd be okay just taking up whatever other folks didn't want. But if you'd like, I'll just go on and select.
Did I take a couple people? What about you,
Yeah.
Paul?
Yeah, I contacted Stan Lucas and Tom Cummings and Michael Jewell. No replies yet, but I waited till after the holidays. So
Yeah.
I haven't called anybody yet, but I
Yeah.
did the same thing. I thought that it would be best, especially with the way COVID has been rampant lately, that maybe
Yeah.
more difficult than we think.
Yeah, because that was my next question I was going to have to the group is when are we starting, if we've started that at all? Because like I said, I haven't and wouldn't have done anything
And-
probably till
And
now.
I
anyway.
sort of put it on the back burner just because of the holidays too.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about that, Cheryl? You think it matters when we start it?
Yeah, now's a better time than the holidays, correct?
Well, we didn't get a chance to meet with John Iavino yet. Has he made any contact with you, Roy?
He has, I mean, but if I was going to summarize the conversation, aside from the charter restrictions, his response to me was, it's not good timing.
Okay, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. And I do know that we are facing some challenging times at school right now.
Unfortunately, we're doing this in challenging times for everybody.
I know, that's my back of my mind. I can't get that, out of it right now too. It's these gonna be difficult calls, I think.
Mhm.
In the new business, from the old minutes here, I made a contact called, Deanne Curtis today. And, unfortunately, Cheryl, you were quite right. The courts are not within the boundaries for the community block development grant
Okay.
appropriations. The reason they gave funding before was, because it was an ADA thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it got priority for that railing that they were going to put in at
Oh,
Mohegan, at the rec department.
Yeah.
So that unfortunately is out.
They're
What?
the tough times, but for some people, these are not tough times. Some people are making more money
Yeah.
than they have a right to make. Mackenzie Bezos just gave away billions of dollars, being the ex-wife of is Jeff Bezos, who owns Amazon.
Amazon.com.
Do you know her by any chance, Paul?
Yeah,
I wish I
exactly.
did. But, maybe that's where we should put some emphasis on. Let's get the top 20 earners in Connecticut, or the top 20 corporations in Connecticut, whether they're hedge funds, whether they're banks. And many corporations in this day and age feel so guilty about making so much money that they do have a organization or an arm of their company that really is for charity or for grants, or, we could make some requests so we could just get some information, but it just seems like there's an awful lot of people in this world that are making an awful lot of money. People are buying up, an acre and a half of property in Florida for $35 million with no buildings on it. It's almost, it's not insane. It's scary how much money some people are making during a pandemic. So maybe we should look at something like that going after, because we're not going to get it on $20 or $100 or even $500 here in Norwich during these times. I agree with Roy. Things are tough everywhere. And with the states not getting any money from the COVID relief packages, they still have to distribute vaccines, and they don't know how they're going to do that because they don't have enough money. So maybe we should raise the stakes and really look high instead of calling, people around the city. I'm just trying to think outside the box because
That's not a bad idea, Paul, at all. I'm just trying to think, where we would actually start with that. And you say hedge funds, or I would say banks might be the first place to go.
Yeah, maybe we get some information off of Dun and Bradstreet and see who the top 20 corporations are. Obviously Fairfield County would be the place to look.
Mhm.
Some of the people in Greenwich that are making gazillions of dollars and feel guilty about it do have organizations or arms of their corporations that do look at charitable contributions.
I'm all for it. Do you want to do the Dun and Bradstreet thing and present it either by email?
I can start looking, trying to get some information.
Either present it via email to the group, or we'll bring it up at the next meeting. But
Yeah. Let me see what
I would assume the faster we jump on this, maybe the better. I think it's worth a shot, because I'm kind of in agreement with you. It's kind of hard if you're trying to get $300,000 or $100,000 to try to get it at $100 at a shot.
Yeah, of course, all the banks have the grant the grant process where they give away money, but I don't usually see it for recreation. And I think they're busy thinking about people who have lost jobs and that sort of thing right now.
That will be tough because there are other needs, food banks, putting
Mhm.
people back to work. Yes, that's going to be a tough one. People, afraid of losing their homes, et cetera.
Mhm.
But there are so many people who are just making insane amount of money off of this pandemic. Um, It just has to be a way to tap into some of that. And I know in Connecticut, there have been, like Ray Dalio and his hedge fund group have donated money to UConn and other projects in Connecticut. Like I said, Mackenzie Bezos just gave away, I think she gave away $1 billion to some special projects here in Connecticut, all, charity involved, but, wouldn't hurt to look into it and to ask. We can play dumb and say we're just a poor little
Mhm.
city in Norwich, Connecticut, looking for some recreation dollars for our kids while there's a pandemic going on to give them something to do. So,
I think that you're gonna have to go with that for the kids, that the
Yeah.
kids don't have any place to play. We're gonna have to play that card, I believe. You can
Yeah.
say
And-
that.
True.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's true, but it has a lot of validity to it as well. I mean, it isn't just for the people, it isn't just for the adults. It's to get the programs going so these kids can play.
My belief would be if we could talk up the social emotional benefit,
Mhm.
let alone the recreational aspect. I mean, that's really what I see our kids needing is
An outlet.
just something to be a part of, you know.
And
Well-
tennis is a low level 1, 2 sport, meaning there's less COVID risk. It's usually a low risk sport, so there could be an uptick in tennis playing since the contact is less.
And it's cheaper for everybody to play than for kids to play than anything else. All they need is a racket.
As long as
Yeah,
there's
and there
court.
are initiatives by the tennis community and by the golf community to get underprivileged kids involved in tennis and golf.
Yep.
I mean, I know I've given away some of my old rackets. Fred, you probably done the same thing. You donate them to an organization.
You still have your old
collect the
rackets. Who are you
rackets.
kidding?
Well, your racket's probably so old, it's probably still wood.
Please.
Yeah, I mean, golf is having a huge increase in enrollment in dollars. Golf's almost back up to when it hit a high with Tiger Woods. So,
Absolutely. And they are looking to get more people of color, more kids of color involved in golf. I would say the same thing is happening in tennis as well.
Correct. Yeah.
You know, you said that about people who make lots of money. Do any of the top tennis pros, is it worth trying to contact them, see if we can get, they've got a lot of money that they often give out. I don't expect more than, a couple of $1,000s if we got it, but it might be, what do you think about that?
Does Yvonne Lendl still live in Connecticut, Paul?
I'm not sure if he's living in Connecticut or Florida these days, but
Well,
know-
I'll look up list of tennis pros in Connecticut, see what I can find out.
Okay.
You call it USTA, or I'm not sure where I'll get it from, but
I mean, we are a poor community also, so that should be something that people look at, even if they don't have a stake here. You're helping out people that need the help. We're
Yeah,
not Greenwich
exactly.
asking for money for a court.
exactly. And maybe, you know what, I give the Tennis Hall of Fame in Newport a call and see if they have any initiatives or any programs to help kids. And if they don't, maybe they could steer me in a direction where we could find some funding. So, but I just think we're at a point where the pandemic's not going to get any better.
not for a while.
We're going to be in this mode again for probably 6 months to right through the fall. We just need to think outside the box. I think it's going to be hard to raise money locally.
Okay. Well, it's a couple of good ideas we can work on.
Mhm.
On the agenda there, Cheryl, you've got review of the tennis court design. What was that?
Yeah, I'm looking at the minutes from the last meeting. Looks like I covered. Yeah, last meeting, I looked into having that design engineer for 18,000. So
Oh, wow, okay.
yeah, I scrapped that. JP, the Norwich Public Works civil engineer, he's working on a design for me. He gave me a draft. He's tweaking it, so I don't have it ready for tonight. But he's been working on that so we can save that money. But I kind of reported on that. We dug the test pits. I reported on that. Yeah, I guess his question to me was, and I thought I'd ask you, do you have preference on the brand for the tennis posts and the tennis nets that we would put in the bid package? Is there a specific quality that any of you are aware of? Or, I mean, I got a quote from J Pro that they sent over to me. I could send to the group. I said, ask for their highest end, net and posts, but he wanted to know if I had a preference. So anyone know any of that?
You can't use the posts that are already there or the nets?
It's not that pricey to do. You kind of want to go new at this point. Don't you think?
I don't know anything about posts.
But if they're digging it up and all, won't that be in the way? The posts, if you try to leave them, it's like a
Well, it
tree
wouldn't
when
be
you're,
take them out, but they may be encased in cement, so that might not be, to take the cement off the old post might be a nightmare, so I don't really know. You wouldn't dig around them, you'd take them out. And-
Yeah, I think we're gonna do sleeves. We do sleeves, so they put the,
They drop
you
the
could pull
post
the-
down in the sleeve.
yeah, you can drop them in. That way, if they break or they rust, you can pull them out and put the new
Yeah.
one in.
oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that's a little more pricey, but I went for that. I mean, I can tell you the J Pro quote I received. I'm opening it now as I talk to you. Hold on, of course. I have 4 posts. I'm gonna move you over a little bit so I can see my screen. 4 posts, it's $250 a post. They were green, $250 to $1,000 for the posts. Tournament tennis net, 4 nets for $692 total, $173 a net. And then the sleeves, a 3-inch round sleeve, those are $95 each for $380. That was from J Pro.
Roy, didn't you said you guys had a couple of nets?
We do. We have, I want to say 2, possibly
I thought you said
3, definitely two brand new nets, but
Yeah, $2,000 for the setup for 4
yeah.
from J Pro, which is in Waterford.
And I believe we have J Pro nets. We do a lot of business with them.
Do you get a discount from them?
We may, probably not,
What about the city?
any different than the
Cheryl,
city. Yeah.
City have a discount with J Pro?
They usually give me the state bid list prices. I can verify that this is the state. That's like their lowest prices because they're on state bid for a lot of their items.
Okay.
Yeah, because the 2 nets that I've had, they've been there for at least 2 or 3 years. So they're still in boxes, actually.
Oh, okay. So I mean, it's $173 a net, but
Yeah, I mean, I think those prices you're talking are really negligible compared to whatever else
overall.
we're paying
Absolutely.
for the concrete or the tension concrete stuff.
Cheryl, so I don't have to add it up. Can you tell me what the total you said was?
yeah, why don't you do that? $2,072.
Yeah, I don't think that's
Correct.
a lot
I
of
didn't,
money.
that
compared to
wasn't gonna
everything else.
budget, but, and I know with the net and the middle thing,
Net cord,
Center strap,
center strap.
what do you call that strap?
well, the center strap, but you also have to have a little hook underneath it to anchor the strap.
Yeah, I need to make sure that's I'm assuming a tennis contractor would know to do that, but I'm finding the more detail you give, the better for some of this stuff.
Can we ask for something but not have to have it? I really like, as I get older, those things that are on the score things that are on the side of each court, side of each pole.
Are you forgetting about how to keep score, Martha?
Yes. I forget who's winning. I'm always winning if it's up to me. You know, the ones where you put the number of,
Yeah, I do. I
Yeah.
know what you're talking about.
Martha, do you want to like screenshot a photo of what you mean and send it to me?
okay,
That way I get it exactly what you want. Or at least that might be something we buy after, or maybe we include it. We'll see. Yeah,
mean,
anything else that you guys want?
Well, my only concern, and I forgot to bring this up last time, is the fence. Now, when they do the bid, they're going to talk about either completely redoing the fence or doing part of it. And I went up and took a look at the courts a ways back, and it looks like you could probably keep a lot of the fencing, but there's about 10 sections that need to be redone that are just not in good shape. So one, I think it was Hinding said that they could do partial fence repair. The other guys, who were the first, I always forget the name of the first people we got the quote from. Not Cape and Island, but the other ones were Allcourt or
Classic turf?
Classic Turf. That's it. They said they'd have to replace the whole fencing. So some of that is going to we need to look at that from the standpoint with a quote eventually. The other thing I noticed is at Stanton courts, the fencing down below has gotten pulled away from the ground because the kids, when they sit against them, they basically push them back. And so the balls have a tendency to run underneath. And those are things that are relatively easy to fix, but I don't know if your maintenance guys can do that in the springtime or not. I mean, hell, I'd be willing to go down there and just wire them back up again. It's not that big a deal, but they should be fixed.
The fence. Okay.
I'm sorry, Fred, who did you say would do a partial repair?
Tom Hinding, Hinding.
Okay,
Don't you normally hit the ball over the fence, Fred, not under it?
Well, when I hit it by you, you don't even watch it when you go by it. It goes under the fence.
So do you want a new fence in the quote?
Well, I think that anytime we can save money, like I said, if you could, there's about 10 sections I counted that would need to be fixed. For instance, way over by the playground is fine. That's a brand new fence. It doesn't need to be changed.
how does this work? I mean, do you ask for the moon and then cut it back?
Yes. That's what I'm learning to do with all my bids. I itemize like the necessities, I itemize, and then they bid on, each piece. So that way, if you only have so much money and they go over, you can at least say, all right, let's do the base. Let's just do the tennis courts only. Forget the asphalt walk. We'll gravel that.
Do you mean when they go over as opposed to if they go over?
That's
When
when
was the
they
last time a contractor bid and hit it on the nose?
correct. Like the irrigation I did at the football field, they went over by a ton. So I itemized and got my 2 main fields done and none of the extras because I didn't have the money. And thank God I did that because I'd have to go out to bid again if they were way over.
Yeah.
So now I've been learning to do more of that.
Is there any way, in your experience, any way to hold these people's feet to the fire and say, okay, you quoted us at 400,000. We're not paying 450. This is the quote that we got.
You mean call them and say I only have 400,000?
Well, no, I'll tell you, quoted us at 400,000. It's like if I go into Target and the price says it's $35 and I go up to the register and they tell me it's 70, I'm not buying it.
I can reject all the bids. But that's it. You can't negotiate once we set the site plan and all the requirements up. We can't negotiate at that point.
I guess what I'm saying, and maybe I'm misunderstanding this, is that if they come in with a quote at 400, they come back to you and say, we're midway through the project and we've ran into something and now it's going to cost us that much more.
Oh,
Are you stuck under those guidelines? Is there something in the contract that says that we reserve the right to change the bid as the process goes along?
Yeah, yes. Like if there's a major problem we didn't know about and now they need to, the contractor has to spend more to fix it.
That I understand, but we as neophytes in the bidding process, if a tennis contractor comes along, how do I know that he really ran into something?
Yeah, well,
I don't suppose there's any way to get around.
big towns, rec departments have project managers that are out there every day overseeing it and making sure they do exactly what we want. Some towns might have 2 to 3 project managers in a rec department. In
So how many
Norway,
do we have?
0. You have me, who runs the department.
Well, thank God it's thank God it's across the street.
Across the street, exactly.
That,
Hey,
yeah,
guys,
this
I gotta get running.
Okay, Paul.
All right,
won't be
I'll
that.
look
bad.
into some stuff and then just bring it up at the next meeting.
All right, sounds good, man.
All right. Thanks.
I mean, you're right across the street. This won't be too bad. I'll, run out there and check on it. And my crew, Lauren does. He does a lot of it. He goes and checks on everyone, but he doesn't sit there all day.
Well, I might. I want to make sure we get our money's worth.
So if we think we can repair the fence, then we'll ask for a fence repair, or should we ask for a whole new fence and then bring it down? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we itemize fence
Yeah, I would put, yeah, exactly. Put it as
as an option. And if it's too high, forget it. We'll leave the
I
old.
see. And then you can go back and say, okay, we want to repair it.
Correct.
Okay.
So anything over $25,000, I have to go through this huge RFP bid process. So like the fence, might be a smaller $8,000-$10,000 thing. We could do later separately, fundraise differently for that.
Okay.
All right, that was pretty much my update for the agenda.
Okay.
Whoops.
Did you happen to talk to your guys about the patching the court, the Stanton courts?
Yes, they're gonna look at it. It's gonna have to be in the spring.
Sometime. Okay.
All right, next.
Do we have any other items we need to talk about here?
Just the budget update. I see it's the same. We haven't brought in any more dollars. It's the same as the last meeting.
I figured that we had.
Yeah.
Timeline on our fundraising calls.
You're relying on them? Is that what you said?
Yeah, so what's the timeline?
Oh, the timeline.
When would we be expected to have all our calls made, or at least initial calls made?
Well, we're each taking 50, right?
There
Well,
was something like
that
that. 40,
does a lot. I don't know if you'll be able to do
Yeah,
all
there's
of those, but
about 40
Yeah.
each.
I'm not sure I have an answer to that.
Okay.
Seems like my personal gut feeling would be the end of March.
Okay.
Or maybe how about by the March meeting? That'd be the
Yep.
middle of
Yep.
March. That'd give us 2 months.
I would have assumed that, whether you clarified it that way or not. You got a February and March meeting.
Okay.
So the mailers have gone out already once, right?
Correct.
And was I under the understanding correctly that they would be sent out again? Or no?
No, but if you'd like me to, we can.
I'm not asking that. So I wouldn't want to put you through that, but like I said, so the people that we're calling have actually received
A
one.
letter
Yeah, okay.
and an email.
Okay, maybe that's what I was thinking, that you had followed up with an email.
No, correct. I mean, we could re-email everyone, or would that be too much pestering?
I think if we're going to make personal phone calls, I think we can not send out a blank email again. I think that would be enough.
Okay,
That's just my opinion. I don't know what everybody else feels.
I'm kind of with that too. I don't think you need,
I agree with that.
so.
okay.
Roy, if there's anybody on that list that Martha and I already put our names on and you know them and you want to call them, like also, that doesn't hurt if you feel you've got a strong
No, I'm
con.
okay with that. Like I said, I don't really mind who I called. That's why I was actually kind of just waiting for Aaron and maybe Paul to like put their names in. I would just call whoever was there or left, but I'll take and pick mine since no one else has.
Great. Okay.
Because I saw your, yours and Martha's come up real quick, and I had already asked Cheryl to share that with us so we could actually edit it. And I was gonna do it, but then I'm like, I'll just wait and see what other folks feel comfortable doing. So, but I'll get mine done.
Okay.
Lost you guys here somehow. Not sure what happened. I can hear you.
We can hear you.
I have no idea what happened.
You try
Still
hovering
here.
up on the top right.
Yep. I don't know what happened. It just blocked out for no reason. I didn't touch anything.
He muted all of us.
Yeah, you can hear us.
Well, we can
Okay.
hear you.
Just
I
trying to
can
get out of this
see
thing.
you. I can see and hear you.
All right.
Well, the
So,
next, you got it. The next thing on the agenda just says action items. Can you see that, Paul?
yeah, I've
I
got
think
that. And I think that we've sort of already listed those, have we not? We're going to call Tennis Pros, call the Hall of Fame. Paul's going to try to do some stuff with Dun and Bradstreet, and we'll start making our phone calls.
Okay,
Okay. All right. Anybody want
So
to
when I
move?
write the minute, I'll probably put our discussion under the action items of who's doing what
That's
instead
fine.
of,
perfect.
Anybody want to move to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
second.
Looks like we will adjourn. All right. Our next meeting is when? I don't have my calendar with me.
Mm,
February 8th.
what is it?
I have February 8th.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Good enough.
Okay, thanks, everyone.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you.
Bye.
Have a good week. Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye. Have a good week. Bye.
Bye.